Yeah, Didi, can you be in the backstage?
Can we start?
Sure, we can start. We are live.
Yes.
Mahesh here?
Yes, Didi, we can start. Mahesh Bhaiya, namaste.
Yes.
Go
Namaste,
ahead.
everyone. Warm welcome to all panelists and delegates across the world. I am Mahesh Kore, member of UHV family. I welcome you all. As you know, we are participating in the International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education. The theme of conference is Value-Based Education for Human Society, including SDGs. There are three panels in special interest group. One is Holistic Value-Based Education, another is Holistic Human Health, and the last one is Addressing SDGs at the Root. This is the panel for discussion on Holistic Value-Based Education. Now I welcome Ms. Lipika Mitra to share UHV point of view. Lipika Mitra is Director Bhushala and parent coach Mumbai. She is BE Electrical from Government Engineering College Bilaspur, and she has been actively involved in various universal human values activities since 2023. Welcome, Ms. Lipika Mitra. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mahesh. Namaste, everyone. Once again, a warm welcome to all of you. This is the panel discussion on holistic value-based education. And we have categorized this discussion into 3 parts to have a focused discussion and a definite outcome. These categories are need, vision, and implementation. In this session, we are going to discuss about the need for holistic value-based education. So first, I will briefly present the viewpoint about the need for such education. A part of it has already been addressed during the keynote address. And then we will open this forum for panelists to discuss on the same. And then we will welcome the question from the delegates. So, all right, let us begin with the viewpoint of the need for holistic value-based education. As we look back on lives, we all had certain aspirations, right? So have we achieved everything we set out to? Perhaps we have, and even more than we initially imagined. However, if we pause and ask ourselves, am I living a truly fulfilling life today? The answer often isn't an unequivocal yes. Despite all the progresses that we have made, the technological advancement, the growing infrastructure, comfort, and all of that, there's still something seems to be missing. And that's what the Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations is trying to bring the focus onto. If you look at the goals for a better world, there are 17 such goals that the United Nations has come up with. These are good health, quality education, responsible consumption and production, sustainable communities, peace, justice, to name a few. And if you look at the Constitution of India, it clearly envisions a society which is based on justice, equality, liberty, and fraternity. We can see that there are several committees formed which has talked about making education value-based. So unless we have values at the core and we try to focus only on the skills, education is not going to serve the need of the society. We are not going to have this just and equitable society as also envisioned in NEP 2020. And if we read the vision document of AICTE, All India Council for Technical Education, the UGC, University Grant Commission of India, all these talks about promoting human values through education. So leading to the NEP 2020, it says that it is imperative to appreciate the different approaches and achievements which has been made so far and how we can be complementary to fill this gap. And NEP 2020 was another step towards filling this gap. So we can say, we can see that the need for human values is felt globally, and education across the globe have been making effort for it. We're trying to get this message further by trying to introduce human values across the country, India. And I'm happy to share that AICTE, which is the governing body for technical education in India, has made very significant effort towards this implementation of value education since 2017. We will talk about it in more detail when we discuss about the implementation part in our upcoming session. Now, if you look at education, there is clear priority of values over skills, and education has the responsibility to facilitate what to do and then how to do. So that is, what to do, understanding what to do, that is what is valuable as a human being. And this is one of, one important aspect, and that is what is called as value education. Learning how to do comes later. We acquire the skill, we learn the technology, we conduct research, and we try to add more and more skills to support what we find valuable. So both are important, but what we are saying is that value education takes the higher priority than skill education. And that's what we are possibly able to see, that unless the education is value-based, we are not going to solve the problems of the society. And if you recollect the keynote address, there are several examples taken. One of the examples I remember, was the Green Revolution, the Industrial Revolution. And if you look at that, the purpose which is what to do, part of this Green Revolution, it should have been free of hunger and the health of the human being. But if you closely see, we are not there yet. Rather, the health of the human being has been sacrificed, if I may say so. So education has the responsibility to facilitate both understanding what to do, which is part of the value education, and then learning how to do, which is the skill part. The priority we're proposing is the value education over skill education. Now, if we look at the education, the present approach of our education system, there's a strong emphasis on skill education. There is no focus on gaining right understanding and gaining the capacity to live with fulfillment in relationship. And when we talk about right understanding, one of the important aspects is to understand human being. And when we try to understand human being, we see that human being is coexistence of self and body. And human being is not just the body. So through skill education, we generally try to work upon physical facilities, the material things that takes care of the body. Our focus is to develop new technologies, and through that, more and more production, accumulation, and consumption. That isn't the focus. Our processes are also not sustainable, and we are not able to see the limit for how much physical facility is actually required. And therefore, we are not even able to utilize the physical facility rightly. And that's why we can see there are pollution, there are resource depletion, and a lot of global menaces. But when we have a solution-centric approach, then we start working for value education, value-based skill education. So we will, of course, learn skill, we will go for research, products, and new technologies, but at the core would be the right understanding. So when we go for value-based skill education, then we try to ensure right understanding in every child, the capacity to live in relationship with other human beings, and also the capacity to understand the need for physical facility. And then we try to acquire the skill and practice through sustainable processes of more than what is required, doing the right utilization of what has been produced so that we can ensure prosperity. Prosperity with that, yes, I have more than what I require for my family, my extended family, and for my society. And also I'm able to take care of the nature around. I'm able to produce through sustainable processes, ensuring prosperity for both my family and nature. So we can clearly see that there is a need for such a solution-centric approach, which we find missing many times in the current education system. If we try to look at the syllabus from primary to higher education, seldom we talk about relationship and right understanding, and most of the time we talk about physical facilities. I hope you are able to see this. Now, once we are able to see the need for this human value-based education, then we also try to make out the basic guidelines. So we need to be clear how we can decide whether something is valuable or not. If something is given through education to me, how can you say this is valuable? And can the values be universal? So this is something to be investigated, and this is something to be explored. So one basic guideline of value education would be that this is universal. The content needs to be universal. So which essentially means that the content needs to be applicable to all human beings, irrespective of caste, creed, gender, region, nationality, and so on. So the content has to be universal. It needs to be applicable to all human beings at all times and at all places. Secondly, it has to be rational. That is, it has to be amenable to logical reasoning. This cannot be based on just do's and don'ts, should and shouldn't, or it cannot be just a code of dictum. Thirdly, it has to be verifiable, which means that the student is able to verify what has what has been said in the form of proposals on one's own right. And that the student is also able to validate it in their level. So when I verify the proposal within and also validate it in my living, then it becomes part of my understanding. This is very much necessary. That whatever is taught in terms of human values goes as a proposal, and the student is authorized and empowered to verify and validate it. And finally, the fourth one, it is that it has to be leading to harmony. So essentially, we all aspire to be happy, and that too in continuity. And with little exploration, we can see that happiness is nothing to be in harmony. When I am in harmony within, when I have harmony in my relationship, when I'm in harmony in my participation with society and nature, then I feel happy within. So whatever is taught through human values, it needs to lead to harmony. And that is what we are able to, in fact, see in our lives, that more we are trying to explore the content, the greater we are able to experience the harmony within, which in turn allows us to foster this harmony within our families. So values that enable us to live with peace and harmony within our own self and as well as with others will only be part of the human values. Yes. So in conclusion, we can say that the need for human values is felt globally. Today, there is a need to put efforts towards that. There's a need to prioritize values over skills in education. And going by the solution-centric approach, we can see that there is a need for this holistic perspective where the fulfillment in life can be addressed. With the right understanding in every child, we can build the capacity to live in relationship, and we can identify the need for physical facility, the skills and practice for sustainable production of more than what is required, and right utilization of physical facility. And all this will lead to the feeling of prosperity. Then we also looked at the guidelines for such holistic value-based education, which are universal, rational, verifiable, and leading to harmony. With this, I would like to conclude here and call upon Dr. Ela Dedia to moderate the panel discussion on the need for holistic value-based education. Dr. Ela is Director of Anveshanam Foundation, a Section 8 company. She has done her PhD in textile and fashion technology. She's involved with UHV-related activities since July 2020. So I welcome you, Dr. Ela, to take over the stage. Over to you. Thank you. Namaste, everyone.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lipika, for the introduction to the need for value education from the point of view of the universal human values. And to take this session further, I welcome all the panelists, all the delegates, and everyone who's present here on the Zoom link, as well as who's present on the YouTube channel. Feel free to ask your questions or give your reflections at the end after the panel discussion is over, the panel presentation is over. So we have the panelists whom I will introduce, and each one of them will be given a question which they will be responding. And at the end of the round of questions, we will have some time for the audience also to ask questions to the panelists. So here we go. We have the first panelist, Dr. A. Geeta, currently who is an assistant professor from the Department of Computer Science, Government Arts and Science College, Avinashi, Tamil Nadu. She holds a PhD, MPhil, MSc, and a BSc in computer science, and is associated with UHV since November 2020, a very active volunteer. Welcome to you, Dr. Geeta. We also have Dr. Manisha Gupta, who is a BCom MBA Finance, UGC, NCFM, MCOM, and PhD in Finance. She's worked as a professor and a director at Punjab Institute of Management and Technology, Alor, Khanna, and is associated with UHV from the last 4 years. Welcome to you, Dr. Manisha, who's also been a very active volunteer during this conference. We have with us Dr. Anita Santaji Mane, who holds a PhD in Commerce from the Shivaji University, Kolhapur. Her academic experience spans over a period of 27 years, and she has been actively involved in value education since August 2020. Welcome to you, Dr. Anita. Yeah. We also have amongst us Mr. Amresh Patil, who is an associate professor from the Department of Civil Engineering, PDA College of Engineering, Kalaburgi, Karnataka. He holds a master's in structural engineering and a bachelor's. He's the coordinator of the UHV cell in the institution and is also an active volunteer as a regional coordinator for the Southwest region in India. Welcome to you, Mr. Amrish. So with this, we have introduced our panelists, and now we begin with our round of questions. As all of us are aware of the theme of this panel, where it is, we are discussing the need of value education, the need for holistic value-based education. I will begin with a very generic question, which all the panelists may want to respond to. And we'll begin with Dr. Amresh, Mr. Amresh. What holds a higher priority in education, according to you? Value education or skill education? Kindly share your view on the priority of value education.
Yeah. Good evening,
Mr.
Dr. Indra. I think the question is straightforward to me, with the understanding that I'm there with the values that I'm got into the living part. So what I'm able to say is, in the education setup, if I have not been told of these values, then I will be only trying to fulfill those requirements which are temporary in nature. Temporary in the nature, I mean to say, it is when I am trying to look with the content part, it is with respect to the body. So if at all, if I am able to see that this is not continuous, the requirement of a body is not continuous, so I'll be only trying to not fulfill my living part in a better way. So once when I am able to see that values are the core, if at all, if I'm not able to see what to do part, only trying to do how to do part, it can be only partial in the living part. So fulfillment is always missing, and that I had experienced in my living. So in the last 2 years, when I got connected to this content and able to see that this is the core. If at all, if the young generations are being given with this content at the early stage of their living, before they get into their profession, their career, I think that shapes up the requirement, and they can be looking for the purpose part, what they are got into this education. So as per me, it is only both are complementary, as I am able to see that both skills as well as values are required. But for me, values are on the priority, followed with the skills. Thanks for the opportunity. This is what is my take.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you. And I would just like to also mention that we have some interesting poll questions, which all the delegates can also participate. And just to share the results of the poll, the question was, what holds a higher priority in education according to you? Value education or skill education? Very interesting to see that the delegates also have voted for value education.
Yes.
It's nice.
Yes, thanks.
So can we move with the same question to Dr. Geeta?
Yes, good evening, Dr. Ila. Greetings to all the panelists and delegates. I'm happy to be a part of this panel discussion on the need for value-based education. Yes, Dr. Ila, an interesting question, I would say. And I would say it is a question that everyone needs to explore and look upon it. So in the present education system, we can see, hope you will all agree, it is skill-based or it is skill-biased. And we could see its consequences. We could see so many things are happening across the world, across the country, which are not ethical or which are not moral, and that is leading to serious consequences, which is affecting the individual, the family, the society, and nation at large. When we ponder upon these issues, we can see the root issue is the current education system is lacking in values. So that is why we are seeing so many chaos around us. So we are not denying skill education. The skill part is how to do. So that is also required. But the skill education has to be supplemented with or added with value education. Because when we say values, it means what to do. That is more important. So my priority is value education holds higher priority than skill education. So when it is blended, when the education system is blended with skill-based value education, definitely we can work for a humane society, which everyone is dreaming for. Thank you, Dr. Ila, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Geeta. Yes, Dr. Manisha, would you like to share your views?
Yes, Dr. Ila, thanks for giving me this opportunity. I will go with the views of other panelists. To me also, I can strongly see the need for value education in the present context. And since value education, as rightly pointed by Ms. Lipika, it facilitates understanding what to do. And it has to facilitate what to do and how to do both. But presently, our education is focusing more on the second part. So we can see the problems around. So we are developing technologies, doing research without knowing the actual purpose, without understanding completely the purpose. So that is why we can witness the misutilizations. Like we have come up with the microwaves to ensure cooking in less time, but without understanding that what type of food is actually healthy for our body. So we developed it and we are using it now, which is ultimately changing the chemical composition of the food and making it unhealthy for the body. We can see so many things, like in case of business and profession also, we can see research is going on to reduce cost and to increase more and more profits. But we are not clear with the purpose, like we are into profit maximization, and with that we are indulging more and more, accumulating more and more. But if we are aware of the actual purpose of participation, it is to ensure our prosperity of our family, and the prosperity of all other involved in the business and profession. So definitely, if the values are priority, then skills can be effectively utilized. If a student gets the clarity of what is to be done, so he can very well decide what skill I should have to do it. That would ensure harmony within himself. So for me, value holds higher priority, and values and skills can be complementary.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you so much. Yes, Dr. Mahesh. Dr. Mahesh.
Yes,
Would you like to share your views on the same question?
yes. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Um, if I listen other, I can say panelists, I do also agree with that, because what I feel, if I speak to around the people, like I'm teaching in engineering college, I talk to my students that suppose if you get, I can say, very good skill, and for that, um, uh, uh, then in that case, what will happen if you'll get good money, but will you be happy? Then he said there is no guarantee. Means an undergraduate student also can feel that happiness is cannot be ensured by just getting money. But then I asked the question that, what do you see that? But what your teacher, what your parents are focusing on? Then he said everyone is going for that, so I feel I have to go for that. But he do understand that is not more important for him. More happiness is required to him. Rather, he don't know what is mean by happiness or not. But I feel always he could understand skills are necessary, but something more than that, and that he could understand the values are more important. If the student can understand, we teachers have to understand that as more priority. So I do also agree with that. For my students, values are more important than skills. That is my take. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yes, Dr. Anita.
Good evening to all the panelist members and the moderator. When we talk about value, the value competence enables us to know what to do. As Lipika ma'am has also said, and appropriate skills competence enables us to respond how to do it. Both things she has covered up. That's what to do and how to do. If we neglect any one of this in favor of the other, it proves little unproductive, means it will not give right answer. So at present, education system is highly skilled centric, and we need to add values in the education. When we have the young minds, as Mahesh sir was saying, that when they have the students who are young minds, we need to shape them properly. In addition to imparting the technical skills, we need to help them discover humanity in themselves also. Skills education help us learn skills, methods, and technique to implement the program. And value education gives us clarity for our goals, our basic aspirations, and the program to fulfill the basic aspirations. Both are essential and complementary component of education. Now, what I would say lastly is, if your participation in the process of education is to understand what is being taught, your value is to make effort to understand it. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. So with this, I think we have come to one common understanding over here. Everyone, all the panelists do feel that values are more priority-wise, they are more important. Although skills are also required, but as far as priority is concerned, I think all the panelists have placed it to be on top. I have another question, which I will ask Dr. Geeta. We have been talking about teaching human values. Can you give some suggestions regarding making the course more explorative? I mean, if you have, since you have conducted these courses, if you can give some experiences on some experiments that you have done. Would you like to share them?
Yes, Dr. Ila. I have been conducting the course at my college for more than 2 years. And my suggestion is all the UHV contents are shared as proposals. Since they are shared as proposals, we should see all the proposals are self-exploratory in nature. Let me answer the poll. I'm sorry, I'm not able to answer the poll. Okay.
Don't worry, the polls are for the delegates.
Okay,
so you
okay.
can.
Okay.
We are
So
just taking their views also.
Okay,
While
fine.
the
I thought I
panelists are
was...
giving your views, they are giving their views. So we just want to see whether there's any match.
Fine, fine. Thank you. Thank you. So all the UHV proposals are shared as all the UHV contents are shared as proposals which are very exploratory in nature. The UHV proposals are making the students to be self-referential. And I could see from my own students, they have become more responsible. I would like to state few examples. We all know as academicians, small practices are a little bit high among our students. After teaching this content to my own students, I could see there is a drastic reduce in the mall practices that is found in the examinations. And I could also see punctuality among the students. Usually there will be so many latecomers. So all these are small transformations which I could see these changes, these transformations have happened only because it is self-exploratory in nature. And I would like to add that some of the parents, when they come to meet us, they are saying that some change has happened in their children. They are happily sharing with us that their children have become more responsible. So all this has happened only because the UHP contents are very, very self-exploratory in nature, Dr. Ila. So this is from my own experience. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. I'll give this question also to Dr. Manisha. Let us see her opinion also on this.
Yes, Dr. Ila. Actually, if we consider the present situation and environment available to all of us and to our students, we can see largely we are not able to decide on our own what is valuable for us. We are normally influenced by the media, by the ads and other outside environment. So putting value education in education seems desirable, and UHV Foundation and AICT has initiated it, and they have introduced it in the technical education. So as such, our university is also providing this course as credit course. So even I got chance to share the proposals of UHV course with the students. So I could see that values are something which is innate in each one of us. So talking about these values as set of instructions and beliefs was not very useful, because in the initial years I used to teach it just like as moral education, but I found that the students were not taking interest in that. Later, after going through the videos of how to share values, I got to know that it is to be shared through the process of self-exploration. So if we share this content as proposals to the students, then they can explore on their own right whether it is right or wrong for them. Simply, if they are asked what is acceptable to them, living in harmony or disharmony, so promptly they used to reply that they want to live in harmony. So through assignments regarding points of exploration, students very well receive this course and find it very exploratory, and it initiated transformation in them also. So they can be asked to do exercises and we can help them to explore for themselves. So this way, this course can be very effective, and it can bring transformation in this, as well as the initial transformation in us as teachers. Thank you so much.
Very nice. So you all do see a possibility of it being, the process being exploratory through your experiences in the classroom. I have a question to Anita ji. Anita ji has been holding a higher position in her institute, and definitely is also interacting with faculty and interacting with students. So did you find this exploratory method helpful even for teachers, for faculty?
Yes. Whenever we started with, actually when the proposal came to us through AICT through mail, I started it first. Means I was the first one to get introduced to UHP. And when I started exploring, I felt it is a need that the teachers also should work on it. Then the second step was asking teachers to work on it. And then the third step was making the students aware of it. So it was a step-by-step process, because here it is more explorative. Reason is, as a teacher, I need to understand the concept. I need to live by that concept. And if I'm able to live with it, if I'm able to work with it, only then I'll be able to put it forward. I need to explore within myself at every moment, means whether it is my desire, whether it is my thought, whether it is my expectation. This is a continuous process. It has to go on continuously. So here, when we are doing this, the other person who is observing you, the other person who is following you will look at it. If there is a situation, how does it go? Now, say instant, we had what we say, teachers meet, parents meet, and there were certain issues. When the teachers were supposed to come and meet me, they felt little scared. Why? How would I react? But when they came and met me, I started that how can we all work out on this situation? And when the things went on smoothly and I could help them out, while moving out, one of the faculty said, "Ma'am, you responded to the questions, you understood our things. That makes a lot of difference. We thought you will be taking us left and right, but that was not the way." Means if we inculcate in ourselves certain things, it becomes easier for the others to follow also. And the same goes down to our students also, because students are able to follow, they follow the teachers very properly. That is what we have done in our campus. Thank you.
You are trying to say is that if a teacher is a role model, the student is also exploring within them.
Very true. Very true.
Okay. So I have a question for Mr. Amarish. Should we start value education from higher education, or should we fulfill these requirements from childhood and focus on skills in the technical education, that is in the higher educational? So kindly share your views on this.
Yeah.
In the meanwhile, I think we'll just end this poll, the previous question. Let us see what the audience also has to say. That's really nice. The audience also, all of them 100% are able to see that values can be taught as well as caught. Right.
Very, very nice. Updating about the poll. Yeah. In continuation with the discussion that's going on, I think whatever is there right now, the efforts are with Universal Human Values Foundation and with the AICT, we were able to see that the next generation are those one who are there in the higher education level, that is the graduates. So they have emphasized on that. It is for all of us to participate right now to help the next generation who are going to the society, so that their right understanding is prevailing them, and then those becoming the parents, those becoming the officials, and those becoming the stakeholders of the society, and their younger generation, the next generation is going to go to the schooling, and then the schooling is also to be facilitated with this right understanding part, the values part, and then it will be complementary in the holistic part, that is for a base for a humane society. So hence all the efforts that are being put is being with a thought process, and we all need to only do our own participation, then how we can help the system that is thought about for the humane society. So it is for, if I am looking at my own self, I am able to see that at all levels of education, because it is a process. It is not for a workshop or for an international conference to take about the subject and discuss and then leave. It has to there in the living part, and that is the living part is a process. So the child is got to this content at the early stage, then he can himself mold the way before he gets into the society of his living part. So he has that foundation, a strong foundation for looking at his purpose of the living. So I am able to see very clearly that at all levels of education, this has to be a part. It is nothing like, because we are looking from the value education to value-based education, and then the value-based living. So this is a holistic aspect. So we are all born to go with this. So definitely somewhere we could start. So it started at the higher education level. That's what it's about. Thank you.
What Amarish's views are that we should have value education at all the levels. My question to Dr. Manisha is, What do you think is the right time right now if you want to start? Should we start it at the higher education or should we begin it from school and let the child advance with the value education?
Yes, Dr. Ila, as per my view, actually value education is desirable. And early it will start, it will be helpful. Right from the childhood, if our students, they see the parents, relatives, and friends, teachers living with values, so they are grown with clarity. So it is good that initially from the beginning, right from the beginning, the child should be exposed to the values. So, and it is good to put it in the formal education as well. So we can start with the school. But when we start with the school, actually we need teachers, we need parents, and we need management. They need to be trained. So ultimately we'll have to deal with adults. So if we start with the higher education, then we are actually preparing the future parents, future teachers and policy makers who can, share the content, share the proposals with the students. So wherever there is a feasibility, we should start. We must start with value education. And even if it is started in this at the school level, it must continue to higher education level, because the process of self-exploration is continuous process. So the environment must be provided throughout to the students. So in case we are starting it at the school level, we should continue it at the higher education level. Maybe that time we need to offer it as a value-added course. But initially, if we are starting with higher education, we must start it as a credit course that way. So this is my view on this, particular thing.
So given a choice, you definitely say that value education should be at all the levels. And because of the adults that we require for the different facilitation at different levels, it's okay to start at the higher education also, is what you say. Yes, Dr. Anita, would you like to share some views?
Yes, Dr. Ila.
Because my confusion is, what if we start at the higher education and the youth has not gone through it in the childhood? Then are we not starting it very late?
To learn value, it is never too late. Any time is the right time, because we have learning it, actually we are inculcating it right now. So even if we are starting right now, and AICT has started this, that is All India Technical Education, one of the primary board members of India, educational board members, they have started in 2017 for the technical education, that is for the engineering students. So that is the higher level. Once they have started, the teachers are working on it. When the teachers are working, means they are preparing the students who are going to be tomorrow parents, tomorrow policy makers, tomorrow's citizens who will be taking decisions. So I feel right now we are at a stage where we can start at higher education. Once we start working on it, we can develop the teachers at the school level and they can bring it to the school level also. But right now, which we have started is with higher education in India. That's what I feel. Higher education is the right thing right now.
Very nice. I think the poll results, there is nothing to share. The participants haven't entered the poll. So we are waiting for your responses also. What do you think about value education? Should it be at the higher education or should it be focused only from childhood? What are your views on it? So the next question I'm asking Dr. Geeta, what measures can be taken to have better impact of value education on the students, according to you? So what would be the basic guidelines to fulfill it?
Yes, Dr. Ila. Having understood the need for value-based education, I think the policymakers, the governments, the universities, and academia has to take certain measures so that the content reaches the student. So to begin with, I think we have to start with the faculty. And AICT is rightly doing that by launching FDP programs, leadership development programs, and management development programs, because they are the policy makers, they are the decision makers. So AICT is starting as per the hierarchy. It is educating all the faculties, management, and other policy makers. When more and more faculties are exposed and trained to the contents of UHV, they in turn can reach the students, which can bring a big change among the society and across the country. So such measures are already taken by AICT. AICT has introduced minor degree programs, and they have also launched in NPTEL, MOOC, SWAYAM and all. So these are the different measures taken by AICT so that the UHV contents are reaching more and more students community. So this is my reflection on your query, Dr. Ila. Thank you for the opportunity.
Very nice. So I have a similar question to Mr. Amrish. What are your views? How do you create an impact on the students?
Yeah, Dr. Ila, I think when, as Dr. Geeta has just responded, I am able to see that the content by itself is holistic. That is something which is very universal. It is not biased to any section or male, female, rich, poor, or anybody. So it's by itself a holistic vision. There, it is at any day, at any time, it can be discussed. It has a logical meaning. It is rational. So this is helping every individual to hold this by themselves, and it is verifiable also. It is nothing like I can remember about, or you can always verify, check whether this proposal is holding good to me or not. And the next part is the best one, is the working for the basic aspiration, the harmony, which I had never understood in the 54 years of my living. I always thought that excitement is what is harmony. So this is one which is there as a base. So these four pillars of this content makes it so universal, so versatile, that any individual, when it is brought to this content, will always hold this. It is only for all of us to give these proposals to every individual. Then I think the clarity is going to help. But definitely we do slip, because after the program being done, might be an FDP, or as a teacher, if I'm attending, the priority drops. But if at all, if such hand-holding is there, like the way NCCIP is holding for every teachers to get connected every week and get connected with so many aspects happening around, then you are always with this content, and you try to live with this. So this is what I'm able to say. The best part of the content is with those four pillars. Thanks for the opportunity.
You've gone on mute.
Yes, last one.
You went on mute. Mr. Amrish, you went on mute.
No, okay, sorry. If at all, if that has happened, I might be there was net issue. I was trying to say that the four pillars are the one which is helping to the content.
Very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
So you do see a promise that it can create an impact on the students.
Yes, definitely.
And if it is done in the right way, that's
Yeah.
what you have been stressing on.
Yeah.
I have the question to Anita ji. Dr. Anita, can you remember any one example of an impact that is created on the students? Any one experience of any student having shared how it has created an impact in his life?
When we were doing a session, and when it came to understanding body, human being as a coexistence of self and body, when we were explaining the points, time, then how the need is there, and when it comes to body, we need to have it for temporary basis. It only is required for certain time period. So we asked them, how many clothes do you have? Have you any time counted the clothes you have in your house? All of them said no. So that was an assignment given to them. Just check your number of clothes you have. Let it be your casual wear, let it be your ceremony, festive wear, let it be your official wear. How many you have? Just check it and come. So of my 60 students, some few really did the homework. They said, ma'am, we have something which we have bought it many years ago and it is still in the cupboard. We have never seen it also. Certain times then after these things had come from students that they have never thought they had so much of excess, and this excess, what they felt is they need to give it out, and that feeling of prosperity came to them, that is sharing something what more they have with them. And they did share their clean clothes, unused clothes with the helpers, supporting staff and other who come to their home, and they felt really happy. So these are the few examples when we do certain assignments with them and they really work on it, they feel certain satisfaction. Maybe it is a certain time they feel more prosperous in them, they feel that happiness within them. That is one example I can say right now. Thank you. I hope I was audible.
Yes.
Dr.
Okay.
Anita.
Okay, thank you. I think there is certain issue at Iladi. Lipikadi, can you take over?
I can see the video, but yeah, no.
Lipikadi, please take over.
Certainly, the next question would have been to me. So even I would like to share one example of how, we did an experiment in the class with the students. Like we were discussing the proposal of harmony, that is happiness in continuity. So I was explaining that you can explore whether by, eating like through sensations, can you get the happiness throughout in continuity? So we had an experiment. I asked one student to bring some of the rasgullas, and he brought one bowl of rasgullas in the class. And to one of the students, I asked to eat these rasgullas and see, can you keep on eating the rasgullas? And so one of the students who was very fond of eating rasgullas, he had two rasgullas, and then I asked him whether you want to have more. So he said, yes, ma'am, I can have more. So he took 5 rasgullas, and thereafter, when I asked that now can you see more satisfaction? Can you see the level of satisfaction with this rasgulla, or what could you see for yourself, whether this happiness, can you get it in continuity? So that student could be able to explore that he cannot keep on eating rasgullas, though he is very fond of rasgullas, and he derives satisfaction by eating rasgulla, but he is not able to eat it in continuity. So this is not happiness, this is an excitement. They could be able to see the difference between these two things. So this type of experiment we did in the class, and really such type of exercises, they help the student to see, and to understand this reality. Thank you so much.
Nice. I think Dr. Ela is not accessible right now. Somehow her network connection has gone down. So let me just assist in continuing this panel discussion. And I think it is going to be 1 hour, the time that was allotted to us. So very quickly, within half a minute, I'll just take your responses. So like one concern is that the number of credits in the course is generally high, and universities have a concern for that.
So if you assign credits to the courses, can you share your view on how we can balance the number of credits to the courses on human values? Very quickly, just 1 or 2 liner responses. So I can start with Dr. Anita.
Yes, Dr. Kumar, as it is based through the what we say body of India, that is education body, it has already been given a credit course, that is 3 credit courses given, and that has added, and students are going through it. That's what I can say.
Nice. What's your take, Mr. Amresh, on this regarding the number of credits to be assigned to courses on human values? Because that has been a matter of discussion among the universities also.
Yeah, definitely, Dr. Kumar. I think different universities are adopting their own yardsticks, but AICTE is very clear about it's 160 plus 3. So, but still, I really not understand how some of the bodies, US and all that, they are struggling and making this value-based education, that is especially UHV2, which is being titled, is being sometimes given as 2 credits or 1 credit. But definitely the 3 credits will be justification, because until and unless the students not just go with multiple choice answering, it should be the reasoning part, that is question and answers, and hand in hand about whatever we think, that exploration and all that. So this has to be 3 credits as per my understanding. Thanks for the opportunity also.
Nice. Very quickly, what's your take, Dr. Manisha?
Yes, Dr. Kumar Sambar, even I will go with the other panelists. Like, it is very much required that it should be offered as 3 credit course, and our universities are offering it as 3 credit course, which is mandated by AICTE. We are, coordinating university coordinators meeting of university, value education cells. So there, some universities are apprehensive on offering it as 3 credit course. We usually say like that if we see the priority of values over skills, then we'll certainly go for this the course in such a way that we'll be offering it as 3 credit course, because initially they are not somehow ready to learn these courses. So we have to make them do these courses. So it is always good that it should be properly evaluated, and 3 credit course 3 credits should be given to them. But later we are also able to see, once the student listens to the proposals effectively and try to verify it. So the students got to learn the
Nice, Dr. Manisha. I get your point. Very quickly, to wrap up the discussion, Dr. Neeta, what's your take on that? Dr. Geeta, sorry. Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Kumar. As far as my university concerned, the university has paid ears to the responses of the staff and the students. So they have approved 3 credits for our program, Dr. Kumar. So this is a happy note I could see.
Nice. Now I can see that Dr. Ila is here. So I'll request Dr. Ila to take over, and you can invite questions from the delegates. Dr. Ila. I hope the connection is there now. Okay, again, she has lost her connection. So fine. I can see that there are 3 attendees in the session. So anyone can raise hand and just ask a question, time permitting, if you can respond to your question satisfactorily. Yeah, I can see one hand is raised. Dr. Prashant, yes.
Yeah, Dr. Kumar. As far as implementation is concerned, if credits are not given to the students, but since value education is to be taught, or it is to be, so will it work not giving the credits?
Yeah, so the panelist, would anyone like to take up the question? Dr. Ila is here. Maybe Dr. Ila can now assign the question to some of the panelists. Dr. Ila, you can hear me? Again, your video is paused. Anyway, fine. So very quickly, let us see who would like to respond to this question. Let us go to Dr. Neeta. How about making audit courses in place of credit courses? What would happen to the outcome?
Yeah.
it is an audit course, and if it is taught by a faculty who understands it, still it will make its way out. But if the teacher is not exploring within, then let it be an audit course or a credit course, it will never work. So it depends upon the facilitator who is teaching that subject. So then it makes a difference. That's what I feel.
Yeah. Okay, so but I think if you assign credits, it will add more value and weightage to the course.
Exactly. That was
Yeah.
my point. Yeah.
So even if the teacher is oriented, but if the course is audit, students are not coming to the classes, or not doing the assignments, not listening carefully, of course, it's not good to have that kind of impact.
Very
Nice. So we do not see any more hand raised. It is time now. So to assist Dr. Ila, just let me share that yes, we could talk about various facets regarding the need for value education. We could see how it is more important than skill education. And I can say happily that now the universities are coming forward to implement value education. So they are able to feel the need for it. I can also see that the occurrence of so many suicides or the psychological stress, the anxiety among the students, that is also somewhat forcing the university to take the courses on human values seriously. I was at MA in IT recently, and I learned that about 1/3 of the students are taking pills for psychological stress or something in BTech, in NITs. And I think the same scenario must be there in IITs and triple IITs also. The elite institutions are able to, are suffering like that. So we can see the need for it, and we could also see the basic guidelines. And very happy to see that all the panelists could come to a common conclusion that yes, this is needed and we need to take it forward. I hope Dr. Prashant has made a note of all the deliberation that took place, and we are going to share the gist of that on the final day. So thank you all once again. It is time now, so let us conclude it here. Thank you all once again, all the delegates and panelists. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Namaste. Namaste, everyone.
Priya, should we go backstage?
Yeah, we can go backstage now.
आकाश भैया नमस्ते।
जी नमस्ते भैया।
यूट्यूब वाला हम लोग स्टॉप कर सकते हैं।
ओके।